Hi everyone, hope you're having a great day. In the following few minutes, I will demonstrate my state agency web application developed for coursework 2 of software engineering practice module. The web application is for a family-run estate agency. It has been written in Java using the Spring framework, following MVC architecture, and powered by Postgres in the background. Let's go through the publicly available pages first. So this is the index page currently running on localhost 8080, and it is the first page that visitors will land on. It has a bunch of links in the navigation bar, a quick company introduction, a Meet the Team section where you can see the public-facing employees of the organization. In the background, you are able to set the visibility of these employees. So a company may have multiple employees, some of which you do not want to or probably should not be visible to the public. Each of them have a brief description of what they do. And by clicking on the Contact Me button, we have a form come up that enables us to contact the relevant person. So let's try and submit something for Gomez. Let's see where our Casper Ghost. Looking for a spooky castle for sale. And we are available at c.ghost@gmail.com. Not sponsored by Google, by the way. So that has now been submitted. Moving on, we have the main business activities of the organization, which is properties for sale and properties for rent, as well as services and company events. Let's go through these one by one. So on the top, the first couple of links, home, our team, services, events, and about us, they all link to the index page and relevant sections of the index page. So if we click on service, it'll drop us down to the services section. And then we can go back to the top. Now, in terms of other pages, we have the Contact Us page, which brings up a simple form. This form is currently configured to drop all messages to Gomez, him being the main man of the company. So let's do Easter Bunny. And he's looking for a home. It can be reached at e.bunny@gmail.com. And submit. Right. All of these are set up to open new tabs, which was a design decision I made early on. However, you do get up quite a lot of tabs, so the jury is out on that one. Let's have a look at the main business activities. These can be reached in two ways. You can either click on them here from the top or from down here. So let's have a look at properties for rent. The properties for rent brings up all properties that are currently available from a database. The availability can be set to true or false, and based on that, the properties will display. We have a filter here. This is powered by JavaScript, and it will filter the retrieved table. So we can filter by property type, county, postcode, number of bedrooms, or sales price. So let's try and filter for sales price as a demonstration. We're not interested in any property that is above £3,000. So we've got 3,000 here. So we're going to say 2,500, and then the £3,000 one goes away. And here we have all of the properties. It's a similar thing for the sales. So properties for sale, here we have all the properties that are offered for sale, and we can use similar filters. So let's try and filter by county this time. I live in Kent, so let's filter for Kent. Now, both of these share the same sort of logic, and from here we can go and view the details of property. So if we click on the View button, it will bring up the property page, which displays all the information, what the property is, how much it costs, who to contact, and some basic details of the property. As well as if we click on the contact icon, it will bring up a model with a contact form. It works in this exact same way as the index page one. And here we have the photos of the property. This is powered by Bootstrap's carousel page. So these were the public-facing pages. There is one more, the services one. So clicking on any one of these services will bring up a page that will detail what each of these services is about, and then you can go to contact us and contact the estate agency accordingly. Let's have a look at the non-public pages of the application, one that's reserved for colleagues and for the administrator. So for colleagues, we need to click on the colleagues link, and it will require us to log in. So let's log in as Morticia Adams. So here we are on the staff login page. On the login page, you see a bunch of buttons right on top. These are the most important functionalities for the staff. I specifically wanted these buttons to be kind of in your face, as it were, to give people easy access to whatever it is they need to do. And then as we scroll down, we have the properties that are managed by this particular agent. And you see all of these are lettings. Underneath it, we have the appointments. And underneath here, we have inquiries that we can submit on the main page or in Contact Us. Let's go through all of these one by one. So, new appointments. So if Morticia needs to have a new appointment, we can click on the New Appointments tab. And let's say the appointment will be with Chucky, and he's looking to rent a dollhouse. Set up the appointment for the 4th of next week, 10 o'clock, 10:30, and submit it. So we can see that by submitting the new appointment, it comes up here. So here's Chucky, the appointment date, and what he's looking for and what time. Once the appointment has passed, we click on the completed button, and we can see that the appointment has been removed from the list. In the background, appointment completed will change from false to true in the database. In terms of inquiries, it's a similar situation. So we have an inquiry, we have a message. Once the inquiry has been followed up, we can click on the completed, and then the inquiry is removed from the list. Moving on, we have a View Customers section. This just lists all the customers that are available, and it makes it very convenient to perform operations if we know the customer IDs. The KPIs and the HR, they're all set up to point to external sites. This is because businesses will normally outsource the HR services to someone like Cascade, for instance. The KPIs, they can point to a page that has Power BI running on it, and it will do all of the data analysis for them. Now, let's say that the appointment went really well, and Chucky is going to become a customer. So what we do then is we click on Add New Customer. We're going to say Chucky. Now, if we're going to try and submit this form as it is, it will say that the field needs completing, and all of the models and all of the forms are set up in a similar fashion. This is to preserve data integrity. So we're going to say Chucky's email address is c.dole@gmail.com. He can be reached on 789456123 as a generic phone number, and we can submit it. Now, following submission, if we have a look at the customer list, Chucky Dole is right here. Okay. We can also add new features. So say Chucky is looking for a property that has a sandbox. These features are features of properties. So let's just say sandbox, and a sandbox. Now, if we look at the customers, let's say Miss Elizabeth Bathory just has a dollhouse up for rent. So we'll go and add a property. And we're going to say we're adding a detached house because normally dollhouses are detached. The property is for that. And here is the recently added feature. So let's just take the sandbox and say it has a sandbox. The property is available. The owner ID of Ms. Bathory was number 7. Let's say we're renting a whole house rather. It has 3 bedrooms. Postcode would be AB11BB. County Kent. It will say 500 a month, and we're trying to submit it this way. And then we get a validation again saying it needs an address. So this is going to be 1 Scary Lane, Flight Town, and we'll submit it. Now this property has been submitted for rent, and here it is, number 17, for 500 pounds a month, and it is owned by customer number 7. Now if we go to our rental properties, we can see that the dollhouse is here, but it has no picture. So when something has no image, the system will insert a default image automatically. But we can have a quick look at the property itself, and we can see that it's a dollhouse, 500 pounds. You need to contact Morticia Adams to rent it. 3 bedrooms, has a sandbox as a feature, and is located in Kent. Now, if we go back to our table, we find the dollhouse, and we'll add a photo to it. Let's say this one here, and submit it. Then the properties photos will be updated. So if we go back to the rental properties once again and refresh it, we can see that the picture is right here. And if we go and view the property, here we have the photo with a friendly smiling ghost. So now we have something that our customer Chucky is looking for. So he's looking for a dollhouse to rent. Let's go and rent that property to him. So if we go to rent property, we're going to say he has a lease contract. The property reference was 17. The owner is number 7, Elizabeth Bathory, and number 9 is our customer reference for Chucky. Probably future development would be great if this could be auto-filled once the property reference is there. So if we submit this, we can see that the submission was successful, and property 17 is no longer on our list. That's because it has been rented and it is no longer available. So if we go back to our properties for rent page and open it in a new tab, we can see that property 17 is no longer among the properties that are available. Okay, so I believe we've covered all of these buttons as well as these sections here. Now we're going to move on to the administrator section. So every employee, in terms of the colleagues page, will have this access to the same page. They'll have a welcome message customized to them, and be able to do the same tasks. We'll have access to the same buttons. So let's move on to the admin page. Now, this throws an error because partly because I've not implemented an error page, but partly also because Morticia is not an administrator. Morticia is an employee. And the security system is telling us that there's a problem there. So if we go back and sign out, and we'll go and sign back again, this time with Gomez's credentials. So Gomez Adams. He is an administrator. Now, remember at the start of this video, we submitted 2 inquiries, one for Casper Ghost and one for the Easter Bunny. Both of them are here with the relevant date and messages. So we can mark, similarly to Morticia's, we can mark these off as complete. All the functionality, as stated before, is the same. Let's move on to the admin page. The administrators page gives access to controlling external services, which are the services visible to the public, and internal services, which are services visible on the staff page. So if we open a link to the staff page, these are the internal services, and these will be the external services. Now we can toggle these services on and off, so let's give that a try. Say our van has broken down, we're not able to do any removals, so if we click on update, we have a success message and the removals active status is set to false. So if we come here, we can see that the removals is there, but if we refresh the page, removals is gone. So let's turn that back on, set to true again, and by refreshing the page, the removal service is back. Similarly for internal services, let's say the HR portal is down, we want to turn that off for the time being. So we'll update that to off. We can update the KPI services off as well. And if we go to the staff login, everything is here. Refresh the page, and those two services are gone. So let's turn them back on. Now for the events, these are the events visible here on the main page. And this is quite important because it's a good marketing feature for the company. So here we can create a new event. So if we click on the events button, we can create a new event. Let's say we'll create a Haunted Mansion tour number 5. Choose an open house, and the start date will be from the 3rd of May to the 6th of May. Quite a long open house, and it will offer a tour of a haunted mansion. Now, if we try to submit it like this, we have a pop-up saying that this requires an image. The testing for this particular functionality is detailed in my submitted paper. So let's choose an image for that particular event. Let's say that one, and we'll submit it. Now, if we go back to the main page, there's nothing there. Refresh the main page. And then here is our Haunted Mansion tour number 5 with the image, dates, and the description. Now, if we go back to the admin page and say something happened to the mansion, it is no longer available, then we can come here to our events table where the Haunted Mansion Tour 5 has already been updated. And we can toggle that to false. That means we're turning the event off. We come back here to the main page, refresh it, and that is now gone. Say the event has been cancelled, we can click on delete. We get a success message, and the event has been deleted. So again, it will no longer be available on our main page. Scrolling down to the bottom of the admin page, we have all of the employees listed. First name, last name, username, and job descriptions. And there is a button here to add a new colleague. Now, because of a particularity of how the Postgres database works, which I wasn't aware of when I started out with the development, this functionality doesn't currently work. It is a relation between 5 or 6 tables, and due to some underscores that I've used in the naming convention of the tables and the same underscores that JPA uses internally to create queries, it has become a mess. The model is available, so we can enter all of the employee details, but unfortunately in the backend it doesn't work. And this was the introduction of my application for coursework assignment. I hope you've enjoyed the video. All that's left to do is to sign out. And that was it. In terms of some background data, as I mentioned before, it's running on Postgres. I've used DataGrip to design the database. It has over 28 tables right here. In the background, it is an MVC architecture where we have our models, the repository, and the service layer, as well as in the main page, we have a controller that controls everything, and Thymeleaf is responsible for the views. Now, thank you very, very much for your time. Have a great day.